As the top engineer at the silo, adaptability was paramount. What had once been a high-pressure floor scrubber was now modified to force outside air into a delivery tube, creating a makeshift oxygen supply. She then modified a pair of welding goggles and strapped them on, preparing to descend into the 500-meter deep underwater world with this rudimentary equipment. As the hinges creaked into motion, she gripped the cable tightly and descended step by step into the water. Juliet stepped on an iron block to accelerate her descent. Though she deeply resisted this dive, she had no choice. Soro had taken her fire suit while she was unconscious. The basement was severely flooded. If not drained promptly, Soro's cellar would be completely submerged within 8 months. That was why he had coerced Juliet into handling the water. The water was pitch black. The flashlight illuminated only a limited area. By the faint glow, she still saw utter chaos. It felt both familiar and utterly foreign. Though all silos were built to identical standards, time had carved distinct characters into each. Juliet silently vowed her own silo would never suffer such neglect. Thankfully, everything was proceeding smoothly now. Oxygen supply stable, no physical discomfort. Just as she began to relax, the rope suddenly halted mid-air. She checked her position, confirmed it was level 8, and flipped into the passageway before securing the rope to the railing. As the engineer for Silo 17, Juliet knew the pump's location well, yet the space lay in utter ruin, overgrown with aquatic plants. Combined with the dim lighting, the search proved arduous. For now, she could only rely on instinct to feel her way forward. Pushing open a rotting iron door, she squinted in the faint light to identify the room. This was indeed the pump room she sought. She then crawled toward the electrical distribution chamber, only to find the gate locked. But Juliet had anticipated this. Previously, her lack of preparation had forced her to pry open a cabinet door bare-handed, leaving her hands sore for 2 days. This time, she deliberately brought a secret weapon, a crowbar 2 fingers wide. She wedged it into the door's crack, her left hand pulling back while her right pushed forward. With all her strength applied in opposite directions, the gate swung open effortlessly. After confirming the latch's orientation, she carefully secured it. For safety, the system remained de-energized. Following the plan agreed upon with Soro, she tugged the rope on the railing. The moment the bell above chimed, Soro immediately initiated the power supply sequence. As the red light illuminated, she returned to the pump room and pressed the switch with both hands. Then, Juliet glanced back. The drainage pump began expelling bubbles. The dewatering process seemed to be proceeding normally. With that, Juliet's task was successfully completed. However, just as she prepared to return, an unexpected incident occurred. The moment she untied the hemp rope, the iron block plummeted rapidly toward the abyss. Shocked, she instinctively looked up. The connecting rope appeared to have snapped, but unfortunately, the water was too dark for Juliet to confirm. Almost simultaneously, Juliet felt suffocation. At first, she thought the oxygen supply had been blocked. She frantically pounded the equipment, only to have cold water surge back through the oxygen tube the next second. Clearly, the oxygen line had also malfunctioned. Realizing the danger, she immediately shed her boots, shed her weight-bearing gear, grabbed the oxygen tube, and frantically swam upward. At that moment, Juliet had only one thought. Soro had betrayed her. This accident was no coincidence. Someone deliberately intended to kill her. Though Juliet didn't know the reason, her survival instinct left no room for deliberation. By the time she saw the surface, her oxygen was nearly depleted. She decisively jettisoned the hose and scrambled upward with all her might. At the last moment, she broke the surface, clutching a floating empty barrel as she gasped for the long-missed air. Once she regained her composure, anger replaced relief. She shouted Soro's name and sprinted up the stairs. But the moment she stepped onto the platform, something felt off. The bridge was deserted. Soro was nowhere to be found. Scanning her surroundings, she saw scattered oxygen equipment and an axe lying on the bridge. Not Soro's. More unsettlingly, when she turned to look at the stairs, she spotted dark red splatters, clearly blood. These stains trailed upward in a broken trail. Not far away lay a blood-stained arrow. She realized Soro was injured. Could there be someone else in the silo?